I think my stage, like, I grew up super duper early, and I had that, like, my maturation phase was really in high school about traumatic experiences.
Right.
So like you had your phase of maturity in college, but then where you got to this point, and it's been cool. I'm gonna tell y'all. Look, here's this. It's cool in thought to like be out here doing your thing with the homies and your boys while you're in college. I feel like it's a lot cooler to mature together.
Yeah.
And I feel a lot of people don't get to experience that as friends, and it's like it's cool to kind of come up, and then you're gonna make memories doing everything.
Right.
But I think it's cooler when you settle in, like we growing businesses and like people get married, because it's like it's dope.
Right.
So I guess how is it get to this point?
I feel like it's been pretty smooth for us. Obviously we've hit some rocky roads before, like anybody. But for me, I feel like really once I kind of locked in and knew I needed to stop bullshitting, I was like, let's do it. Like, we're going to do it. Let's do it. And then that was obviously during COVID.
Right.
And then since then, it's just kind of grown. Like small things here and there. We had arguments in the beginning that we would never have now.
Right.
We got arguments now that in another year, another 2 years, we won't be having anymore. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's just like a constant road of just, continue to figuring out each other.
Yeah.
And making like a constant effort to do that. And then
did you always want to get married?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I literally told myself, I was like, I'll probably settle down my junior year in high school. Or junior year in college. Yeah. It's like what I told myself eventually. Right. And it ended up being my later on in my sophomore year. But that's kind of where I sat on it. And then the whole process of after COVID, I knew she was the one. So I was like, we knew we both wanted to be out of college.
Yeah.
So I knew she wasn't going back to like being on campus or anything. Right. So I was like, I'll wait till at least we get out of that. Cause I don't think, did I have to go back to campus anytime after COVID? I don't think I went back to campus after COVID. Yeah. Like, I think all of my classes were online. I finished online. And so, then once we were in Miami and I was training, I was like, I didn't know what the future, like what it was going to look like, but I knew, like, obviously I wanted her by my side. So I was like, let me lock it in. And so
that's how you know. I think when people always ask, like, couples, like, how did you know somebody was the one? I think the best advice, and after I said y'all say something else about it, I think the best advice I would give to know somebody's like the one for you is like, if you can, like, you can't imagine a future without them.
Right.
It's not really, you're going to get in arguments, stuff like that, but it's just really just thinking about the future. And if you can't imagine a future without them, that's probably highly potential that y'all are like, should stay together.
Right.
And but if there's a glimpse of you thinking about the future and you'd be like, oh, it'd probably be better without them in it.
Right.
They're probably not the one.
Right.
Yeah. And people used to always ask me they would ask questions on Instagram and be like, how are you so young and you could commit to like one person? Like, is that not scary?
Yeah.
And it really is hard to explain if you've never experienced it. But once you meet that person, it wouldn't be scary to commit because you don't want to be with anyone else but that person.
Right.
Like, it's not like you want to be with all these other people and they go back to that person. Like, usually if it's the one person for you, it's not. You couldn't imagine me with anyone else.
And then it's like, because I mean, everybody's got their own rhetoric or experiences with, or more so opinions on getting married young. But like, I understand like that side. Some people are like, I want to live my life. I want to start my career. I want to do all these things. Mm-hmm. And I do understand. I don't think there's any right or wrong. But I think that people on that side, it's hard for them to understand the other side. And for me, is like, if you locked in with somebody and y'all have an understanding of like supporting each other's careers, all that stuff, it's like, I just don't want to experience life without you.
Right.
More so. And so it's almost more weird for us to continue to do everything else. Like, I want to do life together. I want to be family. I want to be in the same household, all this stuff. And I want to, like, my experiences, my wins are better when you're around. Like, and losses feel as bad when you're around.
Right.
And so to me, that's like the rationale. People are like always, how do I get married young? It's like what else we gonna do? Like let's like, we are committed.
Right.
Like I feel like this makes sense. Like, let's just do life together.
Yeah. Because once you get out of college, it's like,
what
are you gonna live by yourself, or you gonna have a roommate? Like, you can't always live with your. I mean, I guess you could live with your football guys like forever, but no. I mean, What if they get girlfriends?
Right.
Or like all the girls you passed up in college?
I knew as soon as we started dating, I was staying at the Ridge.
Yeah.
As soon as she was over there all the time.
Right.
We dated for, I don't know, probably, yeah. No, because I moved out and I still had the lease at the Ridge. I was like, I'm getting the hell out of the Ridge. We're going to stay wherever. I was like, because like, I literally, it happened that fast for me. I was like.
Well, we got Blaze like very.
Y'all are dog lovers.
Early
on. That's one thing. One thing, look, is I feel like y'all and then Trevor and Marissa are like, I'm just the polar opposite. Like, yeah, and I get it. Y'all have convinced me with the whole dog thing. I just never been a dog guy, and y'all really treat dogs.
Well, because
humans,
because they should be treated as such. Because I was the same way when I grew up. Dogs was outside. Like, don't come in the house.
Right.
They stand out, raining, snowing, whatever it is, they outside. I'm like, growing up, I'm not even thinking twice about it. And then once we got Blaze, he don't shed.
Yeah.
He don't.
Good dog. Great dog.
Yeah, but I mean, for us, it was just, was over enthusiastic about it. Like, buying them clothes.
No. The thing is, I respect how much y'all care for y'all's dogs.
Yeah.
Like,
but it's cool because it kind of gives me a glimpse of like, if she treats our dogs like that, what's she gonna treat our kids like?
Oh, y'all's kids are gonna be treated like royalty, bro. The way y'all treat y'all's dogs. Now, y'all even convinced me not to get a pet, but just my mind has been opened by the way y'all view pets.
Yeah.
My whole thing was with animals just in general is, people are overbreeding them, but they're not asking to be.
Not asking to be here.
Yeah, like you're gonna get a dog and then treat it like crap. Like they just don't get it.
Right.
And then maybe people will stop overbreeding dogs. Like there won't be this big need for it. But I feel like they can't. I don't know.
Yeah, and I feel like we're in a position where we got a lot of space. We'll probably have another dog soon. I mean, it's like, why not? I mean,
hey, teach his own.
Teach
his own. I do respect it. What was the decision? Kind of near the end. What was the decision? Is like a lot of guys like struggle. Well, like, bro, like you finally got on one knee and did it. Like, bro, you know, we got friends, bro. Dudes be dating for like 10 years.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And I know some people watching this and they like, you talking about situation. Dudes be dating for like, but it's like 10 years grown up. It's not like 10 years like y'all 10, you turn 20.
Yeah.
It's like 10 years like you 20, you 30.
Yeah.
It's like y'all been dragging this along for a while. And like I said, it's usually like the guy and the girls allow it, which probably put your foot down, but like it's just sometimes for a guy, man, that maturation process, even just like that faith of just, all right, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah. For me, a lot of people, it's like nerve-wracking for a lot of guys. For me, it wasn't really nerve-wracking until the day it happened. Like the whole process, I was like, bro, I got it planned. I got people setting stuff up on the beach. Yeah. I got the ring. I got everything. I'm like, I'm chilling.
Right.
Like, I'm chilling. Knew what I was going to wear. I already had the fit picked
out.
Bro,
I already knew exactly what I was going to wear.
Yeah. So I was chilling.
Yeah.
And bro, we was walking to the beach. She thought we was at a concert because ironically enough, there was a concert or it was music being played loud far down the road.
Right.
So that's kind of where her mind was. And bro, whenever I'm talking about sweat, I was cool until I stepped foot on the sand.
Pre-game.
When I stepped foot on the sand, bro, I start sweating. I was like, she probably felt me shaking a little bit. And it's just like, in the back of my head, you can always say no. I done did this and you can always say no. But it's like, are you really going to say no? Probably not. But it's just like, you're so vulnerable and you're so like in a situation where like most guys have never been in.
Right.
It's like you almost at the mercy of whatever they say. Yeah. And you pretty much, I hope you have conversations prior to it. I hope you're not just randomly proposing.
But some people ask you like, bro, how you not? Bro, we talked about this. No. Like,
yeah.
I'm not really putting myself in jeopardy out here.
Right.
Like, it's definitely a vulnerable state. But like, it's more so, I'm asking you, but I'm more so telling you.
Yeah.
Like, this is what we're gonna do. This is where we at.
Yeah. We had multiple conversations about it, especially about like the timing, just because
time is key.
Yeah. Like, I knew she didn't want to be in college, or at least continuing to go back to campus type thing.
I mean, I should have been graduating that like a month later.
So she was already a little delayed in her graduation process. So I knew like the time was fine.
Yeah.
We were in Miami, so I knew and then if I was to go play for a certain team, then we would have been there. Like, so I knew she wasn't going back to campus unless she absolutely had to.
Right.
And so I was just like, I knew it was the time. I was like, do I want to propose and like Pendleton, because that's where we were staying at when we wasn't in Miami.
Right.
I was like, or do I want to propose? Her family could have been there, and like my family could have been there to kind of celebrate it. But I was like, I just think it'll be more special if it's just me and her.
Yeah.
2, if it's like in an area that's like, it's nice and it's like memorable. So,
but I will say the only thing I have to say is like with people dating for 10 years, I feel like, you know, there's obviously things you want to check off before getting married, but it's going to be a constant like. It's gonna be a constant working on your relationship. It's not gonna, when you get to the point where you're proposing and you want to get married, it's not always gonna be perfect. So you can't wait for the day that like everything's checked off.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna always have to work on. So once you just know you want to be with someone and you can make it work, then after that you just continue to work on the things that need to be worked on.
I agree 1,000%. And you said something too. I think is really good. And people talk about love. It's like the only way you can say you love somebody is you open yourself up to be hurt or rejected.
Right.
Because then it wouldn't be love. It's like I'm trusting you with my heart here.
Right. And
you can crush it or make it really nice.
Right. Yeah.
And so, and then with that is, how'd you do with your words?
My words?
Your speech.
My speech for whenever I proposed?
Yeah.
What did I say? I think I said...
You blacked out?
I 1,000% blacked out.
It was not super long. It was very...
It was short. Something along the lines. She was blindfolded. So that kind of took a little bit of the nerves away. Yeah. Don't look at me.
Oh, you took it off before you started saying stuff.
Yeah, but I don't... What did I say? I literally can't remember what I said. I know for a fact I blacked out.
I just remember him saying like he wanted to be with me forever. Like, that's the only thing I really remember.
I just start.
I remember the vows though. Like whenever I say those would be.
Yeah.
He was nervous.
I was nervous.
I was nervous too.
Yeah, I mean, it's always.
Yeah, it's like it's just kind of.
It's like one of the biggest moments in your life.
It's like weight, like and I feel like it's God, like almost like it's like anything. Like you have a kid, you get married, even on y'all's wedding day, y'all gonna feel like. It's just like I think it's appropriate. It's like I feel like God's just telling you like this is a big deal,
right?
Because we talked about. I think a lot of people. And like I think so many people have been scarred by marriages where they don't see the benefit of it,
right?
Which I think that's sad, but it's also reality. Like I think people have like they only can judge what they've seen, and they've seen a lot of broken marriages, and like why would I ever do like it's almost like a death sentence,
right?
People would talk about it's like bro, why would I ever do that to myself? Like I want to be free, but then like you realize like bro, God designed like marriage to really be a symbol of like His relationship with us, but then like the weight of it's like bro, marriage is like beautiful.
Yeah.
It's like two people like dying themselves, figuring it out for the rest of their life, sacrificing. And it's like the greatest depiction of like you understand as a human being. Like,
right.
It's like literally like it's like the marriage is so weighty and everybody's got their opinions about whatever, but I think it is God's design for people to get married because it's like you have kids, and it's like the whole structure, everything really the marriage is like the foundation to me like maturing life.
Right.
It's like, bro, like a good marriage, you're gonna have good kids, have a good family, you can be great. Like it all stems from like marriage. And it's like I think a lot of problems in the world are because of bad marriages.
Right. And you see more of those than you see of good ones.
I see good ones. All right, well, wedding's coming up. How you feel?
Braden doesn't have a care in the world. He is living
his
life.
I care. I'm not stressed about it.
There's so many tedious stuff that's like when you're getting ready for the wedding, it's like all right, you handle
it. Correct. And it's more so like I'm always there when she needs my opinion or she needs my help, but I really want it to be how she wants it to be.
And he just doesn't care about like the little small details. Like I could show him 2 different pictures of a flower and he thinks they have the same.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, and it's like I want it to be how she wants it to be, and I want her to feel like obviously it's more her day than it's our day. But it's always catered.
It's parts of it. It's definitely parts.
Yeah. But it's always gonna be catered towards the bride, which I'm fine for, which I'm all for. So I want the minute details and all the little things to be all right. So I'm chilling. It's gonna be one of them things. I'm chilling until
you're not.
Until I'm not, and it'll probably be like 30 minutes before the ceremony.
It's gonna hit you.
It's gonna hit me. But like the week of. I'm gonna be straight. The day of I'll probably be straight the whole morning, and then like 30 minutes before when it's time to lock in, I'm gonna be like, yeah. I'm gonna be sweating. I'm gonna be
This is real.
This is real. I know that's how it's gonna be because that's how it was whenever I proposed. I was like chilling.
What's the biggest thing y'all learned through marriage counseling?
to learn how to fight, and it's a constant thing we still working on.
We're like.
Yeah, not like learn how to argue.
Like how can
learn
you,
how
how
to.
can you
I think people in New York were domestic violence out here. We don't promote that here.
Yeah.
We'll be friends.
How can you defend yourself?
I feel like early on it was me like learning how to not spaz whenever I feel like either feel disrespected or feel like I don't know, like really just feel disrespected or like to a certain extent, and really just like so that's the biggest thing I've been working on is like a lot of the stuff after it happens because I was spazzing, and so I realized like if I'm calm, not really, or at least slower to get to that point, it's like the direction of the conversation can go a completely different way, than rather I'm just spazzing as soon as I find out something or as soon as I get upset about something.
But I feel like a lot of our marriage counseling has been making sure we're on the same page, and like weirdly enough, we were like very much aligned on like
what you want,
everything like kids, like
which I guess you should be before you are like.
Yeah, I feel like it was conversations that we kind of had prior to getting married or prior to getting engaged, because I feel like you don't get engaged if you're not on the same page about how many kids you want or how you want to handle finances or how you want to do whatever. So we've had multiple conversations. I feel like it's just kind of going over it, kind of checking the box, just making sure it's like nothing out of the blue that's like, okay, she wants 10 kids and I want 2. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not trying to be. So I feel like having those conversations, making sure you're on the same page.
Some of those things are very underrated. Like, because obviously the big stuff is all right, we like each other, we're in love, like affectionate, all that stuff. But then there are a lot of things, and most times you kind of figure out, like you said, you figure out during dating is like you're just gonna come up like, how many kids you want? Like, what type of lifestyle you gonna live?
Yeah.
Like you kind of have like a picture of what it's gonna look like.
Right. And I think one of the biggest things for us is like and I guess a lot of couples, depending on if they live with each other, or if they don't live with each other, you really don't know how a person lives until you live with them. You know what I'm saying? Or like the type of household that they have.
Or you spend time. I think a lot of people like if you go on trips, like family trips or vacations, that's kind of like a glimpse to see like, all right, I spent a whole day with this person. Or I spent a whole week with this person. And so there's like I said, there's different ways people, but it definitely is, I think you got to spend time with somebody like on like a consistent day. On
a consistent basis.
To just understand. And I think that happens like throughout dating for sure.
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes people don't do that before they get married.
Yeah, and it's like,
and then they're so
like they never went on a trip,
or like,
or maybe they went on one, and then that was
like, just like not paying attention to it, and you're just like oblivious to the fact that he lives a certain type of way at home, and it's like it's more so the guys really than the girls, because the girls are usually the ones that are cleaner, that are you know what I'm saying, doing whatever. But it's like, I feel like that's something. I feel like I try to be a clean guy, and I'm like, I don't want to be.
I can work on it. I definitely can work on it. What's the most? I'm gonna use this word. It's kind of. What's the most beautiful part of marriage? I guess either you've learned or learning, or you like appreciate about it.
You want to go, or you want me to go? I think the most beautiful thing about one, our love, and just two, what our marriage will eventually be, is that I genuinely feel like we depend on each other. And it's like almost like that vulnerable state we were talking about earlier. It's like sometimes I just need you. And then I feel like sometimes she feels the same exact way. Yeah. So even like when obviously we get things done whenever we're, not together or whatever. Right. But majority of the time I feel like if we're not on the same page, or if I'm not there for her or she's not there for me, it's almost like we move as one. And I feel like that's probably the most. Because I feel like some people, you can be married, you can be dating or whatever, but it's always what you're doing and what the other person doing, and y'all kind of on your own little vibe. Yeah. But I feel like with us, it's like.
I feel like it already kind of feels. I feel like when we get married, it won't feel extremely different because, most people are like moving in together. It will be different, but I feel like we already kind of act like we are one. I don't know.
I think the thing, kind of this. I think a big thing. I think when like healthy relationships or any couple is like the idea like y'all should complement one another. I feel that's what you're kind of getting at, because I think when you really feel like God bless something, you can really see how like her strengths, her weaknesses, like we kind of like offset it one another.
Right.
It's like a healthy dynamic. And you really feel like whole one other person. And that's the biggest thing I would say. Like you should get somebody who who really feel like compliments you. And you kind of know that as you go through life, you kind of go through different situations. Like, you know what, like, I appreciate that about you. Like, I'm not this way and you're this way. And we like have a good balance and dynamic. And you bring this out of me, I bring this out of you. You calm this down to me, I calm this down to you. And it's like to me, that's like a good sign of like just like a relationship. So yeah, I mean, wedding's coming up. All right, last couple. Appreciate y'all for coming on the pod, for real. It's fun. I enjoyed the conversation. Make sure we didn't hit everything. Someone's so good. Oh, this one I'll get into. Then we can go somewhere else. Then we can finish it. What else do I want to say? Y'all said something that sparked a thought that I wanted to say something. And then, I wanted to give, when I was going through marriage counseling, I'm trying to think the best piece of advice I got. Oh, this is good. All right. I don't know who said it. I don't know if God said it, but I remember I was getting married and it was like this thought process, like somebody said, whatever you want to live, you got to be willing to die for it. But not like a physical death, but like you know what I'm saying, like actually sacrificing for it. Like right. If you want your marriage to live and be healthy, you got to be willing to sacrifice. It was like everything, like obviously it's kind of like the spiritual aspect of like somebody died for things to live, but it's right. Like that's embedded in humanity. And he's saying like, I remember him telling me that, I was like, so every time I think about our marriage being healthy and now we got a kid and even whatever, it's like if you want something to live, you got to be willing to die for it. And right. I was like, because like a lot of it's like love is just sacrifice. It is the lovey-dovey stuff, but it is like a lot of it's like I'm willing to sacrifice for you. Right. And then in turn, like when you become one, it's like helping you is helping me. Right. And helping me is helping you, because it's like we're one now. So it's like that. It's kind of crazy, like for when I sacrifice, I'm sacrificing for us, and it's like in turn, like if I help you become better, I'm helping myself become better. So, all right, yeah. I guess what when people, obviously y'all made a career out of social media right now, and it's crazy. It's just like still such a new phenomenon. It's only been like a couple years, like micro influencers, we've been a thing. And what would you say, like career wise, like what else you want, like if you could, what else do you vision for? All right, this one, what else I want to do with it, or what else y'all want to do personally?
Well, for a little while, I'm not saying I've completely jumped off this, but I was trying to get into acting. Yeah, I don't really know if that's gonna work out because it's just hard. I mean, it would be it'd be a lot, and like with the wedding, that's kind of taken a toll. The backseat. Yeah. But that's like a different side of being vulnerable.
She's a great actor when she's comfortable. Whenever I see it, it's completely different than, you know.
I feel like it's to me it's natural. Like I was saying, like the whole idea, like if you're on social media now, a lot of trends you literally are acting out the words, the sounds, the movements to.
Yeah, it's just a little. I guess it's like it's a different when it's like professional.
Right, you read lines. Yeah,
it's like because it's really like an art. It's an art to it. But she's an actor. Yeah.
I mean, I would like to be. I feel like that's. I don't know. That's a way you can.
We take a step.
We believe in.
Yeah.
We believe in.
Yeah.
I would say lean up though, because I was like, I didn't know if the audio was gonna get bad.
Yeah, I feel like for me, it's kind of two routes. So one route is like just working on like passive income as far as like real estate. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we kind of inevitably just fell into real estate in Florida.
I know.
So it's like
I can't believe we lived there.
I can't believe it literally feels like it was a dream and like was not real. Yeah. But so like that's kind of like our first real estate property together. But like I want to get into like owning multiple rental properties, right? Just for that passive income, and then two, just working on like the whole modeling side of stuff. Yeah. Which is kind of similar to what you said. It's different, and it's different ways you can go about it. Like you can be on runways where it's like you're wearing like exotic stuff, and or it can be like more like commercial acting where it's like it's what kind of you see on commercials or what you kind of see in like you walked into Hollister and saw a picture.
Great Hollister model. You could bring out the shell necklace.
The shell necklace, bro.
And the button up.
I know.
She's trying to be funny. But
that would be perfect.
Get you some ripped jeans.
Literally. But I feel like that's kind of a work in progress. But I feel like that's kind of like a
we could do a side by side.
Right.
She's trying to. So I mean, I feel like that's kind of already in the works, but it's like kind of waiting on some things to finalize from that. So that's kind of something.
Things take time. That's another thing. People like anything you see somebody doing and you admire them, or like even people look at y'all on social media, but it's been like years.
Right.
Obviously, it's like had a couple moments in there, but it took like years, lots of videos to get to a platform where like you got hundreds of thousands of followers, millions of followers. And same thing with everybody's next step is like, whatever you're trying to do, the thing is, it's like you got time to do your next move. You ain't got time to not do nothing.
Right.
You know, and that's where I'm like the balance of everything is, because you can get overwhelmed with waiting and building a platform because people post a lot of videos and not getting traction. But it's like you got time to like find your way. You just ain't got time to not post nothing or do nothing or shoot your shot, because then it's like, all right, life gonna pass you by.
Yeah.
All right, last question. Every guest gets asked this question. You can answer in your own way. What does the journey mean to you?
Like just like the journey. Like, I mean, sometimes I associate the journey with you.
I appreciate that a lot. Thank you so much. Clothing brand coming out soon. By the time you see this, you might see the clothes out. Go get you some. Go cop some. Support the brand. Maybe if you can get it, because it's gonna be limited quantity. But you get some eventually. All right, I'll throw this. I definitely coined it as, I think it's my thing. It's two generic words. It can be anybody's thing. And that's kind of goal is like, obviously I know how I see it, how I want to portray it. But then I think when people watch this, it's like people see y'all's journey, see my journey. Like they're going to see this whole episodes. They follow along for episodes. They're going to see me go on a journey. Is like, it's kind of whatever you want to make it. But everybody has one. Everybody has like a thought process of what it looks like for them, or how they see it. So really, it's just I just enjoy hearing people's responses. So, like, what does a journey mean to you?
I mean, I guess I was just saying that because the only time I had ever heard someone say like the journey, I feel like it just was associated with you. But when I would think about like journey or like I don't know, I would think it was like my journey throughout life. Like getting to where I am now.
Yeah.
Or it could really even be like my journey from now to getting into acting. Like it could really go any way.
It's like everything. It's all of it, everything, and it's like
it's a lot of like our journey, my journey.
Yeah.
Me and my friends' journeys.
Right.
Bentley's journey.
The dog. The dog comes back up.
The dog. For me, I feel like that's where you find the most joy. And you find almost like the most peace, but it's also where you find like the most challenge and the most struggle as well. Because it's like, whatever your goal is, it's like, okay, if my goal is to get married.
Right.
Okay, you get married, then what? It's like, so you're on a constant journey no matter whatever you're doing in life. So I feel like it's dope because it applies to literally everyone in all walks of life, regardless of whatever they believe in, whatever it is. But I do associate it with you just because
Thank you.
You almost, you've coined it, but you've also like, you made it a statement, and like, whether it's posting on Instagram, whether it's, doing a podcast, whether it's the clothing brand, whatever it is. But I feel like it's dope because it's relatable to everybody, and everybody don't have the same journey, but a lot of people do have similar things that they experience throughout the journey of their life, whatever it may be.
Right.
That they can, learn from one another,
100%.
take, and then kind of apply it to their own journey. And I feel like the journey is forever. It's like, what is your destination?
The journey.
Like, that's what I'm saying. The destination is the journey.
No, like, for real.
So it's like, you're not really.
Like, you never, that's why.
The journey never ends.
Come on. The journey never ends.
No, but seriously, it's like.
And that's the essence of it is, like, as long as you breathe, you're on a journey. And like, hopefully when people tune into these things, it's like, there's gonna be different people to come on. But hopefully the principles of like dating, marriage, social media, and this one, like going through college, like hopefully you can take it in your own way. It might be synonymous, it might be your college story, or you might try to do social media, but it's obviously something we talked about here that you can apply in your own way, whatever you're doing to keep you pushing and moving forward. I think the idea of the journey too is, I feel like it only makes sense as you move.
Right.
And so it's like, if you aren't moving, then you don't really have a journey. But if you're going for something, if you're like living, waking up every day, you have like you said, a goal, you have like something you're trying to reach for, someone you're trying to become more so. And then it's like you never arrive. And that's the beauty of like the journey is like it's forever. And everybody has one, and everybody needs stuff to keep going.
Yeah.
Last piece of advice, leave people with something. For anything in your heart, tell the people whatever.
Like literally anything.
It could be you could tell people to stop treating their dogs bad.
Honestly, if you got me talking about that, we'd be here for another hour.
It ain't gotta be nothing profound. It can be something super profound. It could just be literally whatever on your heart. Lead the people with something, just something encouraging, or just tell them something. Just something that's helped you. Something. Tell them something.
Do you know?
I'll go. So you want to go?
Yeah, you can go.
I would say to be authentic and to be genuine. I feel like authentic is just being who you are. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no reason to not be who you are. It's so many. You're different for a reason.
Thanks.
So I think that's the first part. And I think being genuine is, I don't think it's hard to be a good person. Like regardless of what you believe in, what you experience, like it's not hard to be a good person. And you can take that how you want to, whether that's doing something for someone who's elderly, or like paying for somebody's food in front of you you know what I'm saying, or behind you. So it's like, I just think those are two things that I'm just try to emulate in my life. That's just like, it's easy to do, and it almost takes zero effort. Like to just literally just be yourself and to be genuine in kind of everything you do. So.
Okay, I guess I thought of one. Mine would be just like to be happy and not be constantly chasing something that's going to make you happy. Like find joy in the little things in your life, regardless if that's, you're going to work and you feel like your life is, what's the word?
Stagnant. Yeah.
Just find the joy in the little things, and then I feel like your life will feel more meaningful because you're thinking, you're grateful of those moments and not be trying to seek happiness, because if you're just chasing something and you're trying to fill the void instead of just finding happiness in your day-to-day life, then it'd be kind of hard to feel happy all the time.
Yeah, chasing stuff, you just gonna keep chasing, and it's gonna be
it's a balance, because it's like you anything you all right. It's a fine line. It's just a tension of, I'm going for something, but I'm happy where I'm at.
Right.
And the thing is, going for something makes you happy where you at.
Right.
And being happy where you at actually is the thing that can feel you going for something. It's kind of like a both and, more so it's like either or. But I agree.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are chasing stuff.
And treat your dogs good.
And treat your dogs good. All right, so we'll wrap it up. Listen, if you made this far, thank you for tuning in for another episode. The Journey Pod. Thank you for two of my good friends coming on. Appreciate y'all for coming on.
Appreciate you for having us.
And so, look, I at the end I always say this stuff, because if you make it this far, if you enjoy anything, like, subscribe, comment, stay tuned, follow everybody on socials. They'll be pinned in the stuff in the bio. But thank y'all for coming on for the episode. Hopefully something here pushed you forward some type of way. See you next episode.